my voice carries, and so I don't think I need a microphone. And I too am Canadian. Egyptian blood, but Canadian, you know. I lived there for over 20 years. Montreal and then Toronto. So, welcome back. I am new, first generation new immigrant from Egypt. I was born and stayed in Cairo for about a year and a half. And then because of much persecution, even till this day, we experience that. The Coptic community tends to leave everything behind and go to a new country. My father decided to close his business and pack up his little family and go to Canada. So that's where I started my life in Westboro. I went through school, obviously, in Canada, and then I continued here in the United States. And when I'm here in the US, I live in Pinellas County. I do that question. I've been here for over 30 some odd years in Pinellas. And I love Florida. I always say to everyone that my blood is Egyptian, but my brain is American. I think the way that American people think, and we always think out of the box, and I encourage anyone that's a newcomer from Egypt to do the same. So a little bit about Coptic. Who are the Copts? You are looking straight at a person who their ancestors are Pharaoh. So I come directly from ancient Egyptians. That's our lineage. So is your me. So is ancient. And Egypt was once, from all ancient Egyptians, with hieroglyphics and pyramids. We all know that. Then we were invaded by the Muslim people 600 years AD. But before that, 42 AD, we were visited by a wonderful disciple, Saint Mark. He is the one who did the conversion for us. Ancient Egyptian pagan religion to all of us became Christians. But then, of course, we were persecuted for our Christianity almost 100 years later. And we still do. So that's just a little bit of a little understanding. Our churches are all over. We have one in Sunset Point. I asked you to come over and take a look at what a 2,000-year-old church looks like. Our liturgy hasn't changed. And I always tell our visitors that the only thing that's changed is that we've installed AC. And everything else is pretty much the same. We are very similar to Russian Orthodox. We are very similar to Greek. So if you know the Greeks and you know the Russians, then we are very similar to them. And we even adopted some of their Greek language within our liturgy. And we just try to keep our roots intact. That's a little bit about our background. So Coptic Orthodox Charities is similar to the other agencies that are in the area. We have Lutheran, and we have Catholic bishops, and we have Gulf Coast Jewish. And now there's Church World, but we are about 5 agencies that take care of refugees. We have a program called Reception and Placement, and we get them from the federal government and through their pipeline. And when we receive a family, we meet them at the airport, and we've got 90 days to get them self-sufficient. 90. So I don't know if it's an impossible task. We believe in small tasks make huge impacts. You cannot do everything by yourself. So we collaborate with people like you throughout Pinellas, throughout Hillsborough, throughout Pasco, because we service the Tri-County. And now with the human trafficking program, we have overreached to Orlando, and I don't know where else they want us to go, but that is going to be part of the adventure. Even though most of our team are quite faithful to the Lord, and our focus is on Christ, we service everyone. We are Christ in front of everyone. We don't have to preach it, so we just have to walk the walk. So this particular one moved me a lot. He asked this girl, are you Hindu, Christian, or Muslim? She answered, I'm hungry. And that's the bottom line. So we don't look at gender, we don't look at ethnicity, we don't look at anything at all, other than what does this person need and provide those things. We've been around for since 2001. And it's been 23 years, but not too many people know us. And I would like to change that, at least I'm trying that. Our mission is to provide food, clothing, financial aid, rent, utilities. We assist victims of torture, refugees, homeless, underserved, new immigrants, human trafficking survivors to be self-sufficient. Did I miss anybody? We have had programs for seniors. We have had programs that for 3 to 4 years the federal government has no longer provided in different ways. I'm going to go into that later on. But we are always searching for new programs. We're always wondering where the gaps are, where it's not being serviced, and we try to fill those gaps. Here's a few pictures, and I'm sure some of you, or not most of you, have seen in the news. I purposely did not choose the ones that were difficult to look at. So these are the milder ones. The Ukrainian fleeing Ukraine. On my team, we have 2 Ukrainian refugees that are case managers so that they can communicate with our clients that are in Ukraine. They speak Polish and they speak Russian as well. We have Afghanistan, people from there who have helped the military. We cannot help anyone that has crossed the border illegally. So they must be legal, they must have their documentations, they must be approved, and these are the ones that we're able to help and have case files, because we submit to the federal government all of these cases once we get close. The refugee stats. In 2022, there were 108 million worldwide, and in 2023, there are 110 million and crime. The world is not getting more peaceful, it's getting chaotic. And so these young people, like these children, some of them, they come as refugees without a parent, so they're by themselves, and some come in as a family. They take them from their home country that has the chaos that's happening, and they take them to a host country and they set them there for a few, and then they bring them into the United States. Sometimes that duration is 9 years. And within those 3 to 9 years, these children don't go to school. They're on camps and they don't have running water. And you've seen all that, so I don't have to highlight any of this. It's very vivid in your minds what these people go through. And something that's very important that I have to address. A lot of people that I talk to believe that these refugees are coming with money. And some of them do, but not as much as we think, because when you do the transfer of money, their dollar doesn't bring much. The Ukrainian people don't have a very good banking system. So they used to, like the old days, keep the money in the mattress. And when there's a missile that hits the house or the building, there goes the money, the furniture, everything. And so they do come here with a backpack. When you visit them at the airport to pick them up, it is a backpack. So it's very difficult, and they always had the hopes of returning. And after a year or two, they've realized that's not happening. And so the devastation, the mental state that they're in, the depression, it's very difficult to deal with it with people who are going through so many obstacles and barriers in the United States. The administration now wants 125,000 refugees to enter the United States legally. 30,000 from that 125 are coming into Florida, and they're being divided everywhere, Miami and Orlando, but Tampa is also getting a large amount, and they're being dispersed everywhere in the state. At Coptic Orthodox Charities, we assist more than 1,800 individuals a year. We began with only 5 people in our team, and now we're about 20. So it's an easier task. But with those 20, I'm hoping that we can double that amount next year with these individuals that are coming. And they come from 23 different countries. And some of the countries are, of course, like East Local, Ukraine, and others are Afghanistan. Then we have Congo, then we have Sudan, then we have people from South America, Venezuela, Guatemala, Ecuador, and so on. So within our staff, we can speak many different languages. We can speak Arabic to the people who are coming from the Middle East, and then I have Spanish-speaking individuals, and like I said before, Ukrainians. And then we have also people that work in the team that are from Afghanistan, so they speak Pashto, Dari, and Farsi, and they're able to communicate with all of us. We educate by giving them financial classes so that they know how to budget themselves. We try to alleviate poverty by assisting them with a little bit of rent, a little bit of utilities. Remember now, I have only 90 days to take care of it. And then we have other programs that we can transfer them from those 90 days to a matching grant program that adds on another 3. And that's it. So they better find a job, they better get moving, because they're going to get evicted if they can't pay the rent with the system. And we promote self-sufficiency. So we teach them how to use the bus, we teach them how to go to DCF, we teach them how to fill out applications, and we never close the door on them and tell them that 6 months, I'm sorry, we can't talk anymore. And we lock the door. The door, it's an open door policy. So they can come in at any time with an application and say, can you please explain this or what is this form that I got from, immigration or whatever. And we're right there for them. And again, we give a hand, we don't give handouts. Any money that's going towards these refugees doesn't go in their name. It goes to the landlord. It goes to the utility company. It's on that. It's not a check to the individual. So that myth needs to be removed completely from the minds of the people that are already living and welcoming these refugees. I'm very proud of my team. I call them the Incredibles because they are. They don't sleep and they're constantly working, and it's a 7-day, 24 hours. And we've got people who are handling the resettlement, people that are handling career pathways for the Afghans. We have a woman on board that helps with benefits like cash assistance, food stamps, and it's just a wonderful team that works together on the benefit of the and the individuals that come to our organization. I'm very proud of this. Through an IDA program, which we don't have anymore because we finished the 4 years program, we have helped 104 cases. And the objective is if they save 2,000, we give them 2,000. If they save 4,000, we give them 4,000. That's the cap. With that minimal amount of money that they received, they were able to purchase $2,500,000 in assets in Fidelity. They purchased cars, used cars, mind you, but they still purchased. And when we added all the assets, we were so thrilled to give that number to Washington and let them know that this program is very, very successful. It's good for our community. They are no longer in need, but they can now add to their own part, which is a wonderful thing. That's what we want them to do. Here are some of them. And some of them, when they purchase a vehicle, they'll take a picture next to the vehicle and send it to me on the phone, and it becomes a very celebratory in the office. So we've recently been awarded that resettlement program. 170 cases. We've already finished about 160. So we've got another 10 to go, but they usually exceed that. And we've received last month the Human Trafficking Survival Program for adults and minors. Jermaine is leading. You need somebody with a big heart. So I explained to you before the ethnic for the Ukrainian program that assists them. And then we have the Afghan program that helps them get from working in a gas station at night to doing better work because they came as dentists, they came as doctors, as engineers, and now they're working stocking midnight in Walmart. And yes, the language, there is a language barrier, but if you give them just a little bit of help, they will be able to get those jobs or at least assist in these jobs. They're not going to be a dentist, but they'll be, hygienist or something like this. Anyways, this is what that program is all about. And of course, moving mountains, human trafficking. A little bit about human trafficking. In Florida in 2022, 2,076 cases of human trafficking. 1,627 of those were children. Florida is the third state in the United States, third after California and Texas. And just to give you a little bit of in 2021, Florida had only 781 cases. So the increase is 107% in 1 year. And these numbers are not correct because not all of them report these things. This is what we're dealing with. And I'm wondering next year, is it going to be better or is it going to be better? In COC, we have an immigration department. So we held 60 cases a year, asylums, green cards, work permits, renewals, TPS. So anytime you have anyone that needs some assistance with this type of immigration, just bring them our way. We do have a fee for that, but it's half of what lawyers charge. And the two people that are on the team are fully and partially accredited. Some of our partners, we can't do this alone. We can't. The funds from the United States government is minimal, and our hands are tied. We can't do it by ourselves. So we have all of these people, and this is only the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more that help us either in service or volunteer, or a little bit in voluntary. Because now, as inflation keeps going, people are not so willing to give happy dollars like what you guys are doing to try to keep that to themselves. We have a back to school. We give backpacks free with school supplies to about 200 children. And there's face painting, and there's a gathering, and there's food and toys and games and all of that, special secret. And this was last year's, and we're having one this year. In those folders, you'll find a flyer that tells you the date. That's August 10th, and if you want to donate, the backpack is $10. And if it's filled with school supplies, and if you just want to donate for the school supplies, it's $5. So that is going to happen August 10th for breakfast. It's a Saturday. 54 households were assisted that year, 130 children, 26 volunteers. We have an office in Career Source Pinellas, like Beverly said, we moved recently, but we kept one office there on Gulf Bay. And then we have the newer office on Northeast. And I'd love for all of you to come by and visit us. We have the best coffee on the side of this mix. We do a percent in the park. A lot of these refugee children never have received a toy in their life. So we team up with Rotary, which is another organization that handles refugee women. And we prepare toys for them. The community is very generous, and we have a wonderful day in the park with the kids. They receive a toy each. There is my Ukrainian family. We fell in love deeply with Ukrainian people. And if you learn something tonight, learn yellow blue bus, which means I love you in Ukrainian. And that's what it sounds like. It sounds like yellow blue bus. So whenever you meet a Ukrainian, just say, "God bless." They look at you funny for like 2 seconds. And it's just a very close-knit community. And once you enter their hearts, you can never leave. And it's quite a privilege. At COC, we have volunteer programs for both adults and for children. The children one is what I'd like to highlight today, and that is the kids are 2 to 17, and we teach them how to volunteer, and they get introduced to different ethnicities. What was once scary and foreign is no longer. I just had a little meeting with my grandchildren, meeting an Afghan family, and my 15-year-old grandson met their 15-year-old son. And at first he was very timid, my grandson was very timid, and then he meets him. They didn't know which way to communicate other than Google Translate. And then an hour later, my grandson comes back and he goes, "Grandma, this was bad." I said, "Did you exchange phone?" "Yes, we did." And so that's what we want to create, so that this newer generation that's coming up is not, they don't have anxiety when they meet somebody who's different. We have so many ideas at CSD, but we have no money. So it gets a little difficult. We want to do in-house ESOL classes, like citizenship classes. We want to do integration classes. I've come up with, every Tuesday, once a month on Tuesday at 6:30, but other than that, it hasn't gone further. And I'd like to reach the refugees with art. A lot of them can sew beautifully and paint, and I would love the community to get to know what they're capable of donating back to them with what they know how. That's my granddaughter, by the way, not the dog singer. And she met this young, beautiful woman from girl from Sudan. And I was shocked also that there are that many colored people in school. If you're in one particular school in Palm Harbor or in Tarp, and my granddaughter got that. And then when I introduced them, she just fell in love. And now they're this. Yeah, I'm surprised. Of course, up north in Toronto, we don't have these things. We're all from a different. And here, it's just a little bit different. Our wish list: storage, comfort, sheets, pillows, kitchen items, bathroom items, toys, bicycles, helmets, school supplies, that kind of stuff. Whatever you can think of, we need. Trauma-affected refugees, like human trafficking survivors, who need mental health assistance. And there are people out there who have illnesses that they cannot keep a full-time job, but it's invisible to the world. They're not in a wheelchair, they're not using a walker, they're not using a cane, but for some reason there's some illnesses that are not showing, and they're not apparent, and they cannot keep a job. We need to help those people too. I call those the invisibles, because they look just fine. And sometimes we get very critical and say, well, they need to go. And we need to be a little bit more. So now we have our main office on Coachman Road, another tiny little office from Pasco, Weir Source, and another tiny office now in Clearwater, Gulf Bay, where. Please visit us at our website. In those folders, I'm going to close by telling you that we're having a masquerade party fundraiser on September 7th. Masks will be provided. Unless you want to bring your own mask, it's going to be an elegant and mysterious evening. And you can just, we're going to have food, and we're going to have beverages, and it's going to be a fun-filled, and it's all the proceeds from that evening is going to go directly to the human trafficking individuals. And I would love to see all of you.